restore judicial independence. No compromises. Legislators should not be choosing the judges who rule on their laws. Does anyone disagree with that? Do you? Good. Well, we'll let you tell us why. Good. Anybody else think legislators ought to pick the judges?
Heck no.
Who rule on their laws?
Absolutely.
So 2 of you think the legislature ought to choose the judges who rule on their laws. 2 of you do. Okay? Anybody else? All right. Now.
Hey guys that want to go to Columbia.
No, ma'am, I've run for judicial circuit twice, and to be quite honest with you, out of both races I've run, they picked the best candidate, and I was not with that. And in fact, not only that, they were able to ferret out people that really shouldn't have been running, eliminated those people from positions, and in fact they found me qualified and did not nominate me for it, and they put the best 3 people up. And both times in this circuit, we have the best circuit court judges probably anywhere in the state.
So how did you actually run for a judge? What was that process?
The process is you have to fill out about a 23-page application. You have to submit that sometime in advance. You do it through a Senate Judiciary Committee, which is actually comprised of Jane Schuler, who is she's an attorney. You submit all your applications or your information. She, at the time I ran, she had many people that went through, checked all of your references. They issue an entire group where all of the public input, they have to publish in the newspaper. They have bar input to allow everybody within the Horry County or South Carolina bar. They send it to your Horry County bar, the judicial position that you're looking for. You are thoroughly screened out. Anybody that wants to come and complain, and in fact in Horry County we've had a number of people that have had those people come. They have public hearings on that particular position. And ultimately, you're not even allowed to talk to the General Assembly members for 48 hours before the vote.
For 48 hours before the vote. But then when that happens, you guys go to the State House lobby.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Really?
No, ma'am. I've never had a lobbyist or anybody else.
But you go to the State House lobby to
Yes,
talk to
ma'am.
legislators. You go to the State House lobby, and that's where you guys talk to legislators, right?
No, ma'am. You are just like everybody else in the public. You're entitled to walk around the Senate and the House. And the only place you're allowed to go and talk to the people are in, honestly, a parking garage.
That's right. It's the parking garage.
The parking garage.
Parking garage.
And that's the way it is. I mean, I'm sorry, I've been through it twice.
Right.
And I'm telling you, out of the people that applied for that job, in my opinion, I've been practicing law for 15 years, and Mr. Hewitt, you know, he's very familiar with the judiciary, and I'm not speaking for him, but I am telling you.
So you like the process?
I did not like the process. But I will tell you that we have an outstanding judiciary in this
And you believe that that is the result of legislators choosing the judges instead of the governor choosing the judges.
Absolutely.
And the governor choosing the judges, the governor who's elected by everyone, is not as good a system as 2 legislators for whom very few people vote.
Ma'am, you're distorting the...
No, actually, really, I'm not. Two
Yes,
legislators appoint the screening committee. That's a fact. 2 legislators appointed the screening committee. Now we have 3 of them doing it because Glenn McConnell was both judiciary chairman and president pro tem. The other person who appoints the judicial screening committee is the Speaker of the House.
Senator McConnell was not on the Judiciary Committee when the first time I ran, and he was on the second one.
He's been on the Judiciary Committee for 20 something,
not a voting member the first time I
15 years, something. He's been chairing the Judiciary Committee for what?
Maybe.
Since 2000?
No.
No? I don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incorrect.
Yeah, he's been on the Judiciary Committee for, he's been on the Judiciary, you're talking about the Judicial Screening Merit Commission versus the Judiciary Committee. The Judiciary Committee,
you just asked me a question.
The Judiciary Committee, though, is not the same thing as the Judicial Merit Screening Commission. And that may be my fault for not being clear about that.
That's correct.
The Screening Commission is not the Judiciary Committee. Okay, the Judiciary Committee does not choose the judges.
Right.
Glenn McConnell, however, as Judiciary Chairman, nominates half of the screening commission. He
Yes.
chooses half the screening commission.
That's
The
correct.
Speaker of the House chose the other half. Okay, so you have 2 legislators. Now again, we have 3 who are deciding who screens the judges. All right, now in Horry County, you don't vote for any of those guys. So they choose the committee. Now, at that point, after they choose which judges are screened out, then the entire General Assembly votes on the judges. But whom do you go to if you feel like there is a judge on the bench who shouldn't be? Who do you go to? Who are you going to go to? Right. It's the same thing with the Employment Securities Commission. When that fell apart and everybody threw up their hands and you had 170 legislators who were responsible because they all voted on the commissioners who were 3 former legislators. That whole thing fell apart. Guess what they figured out? Oh, wow. You can't hold 170 legislators accountable for anything. So you hold a couple of people accountable. That's how the process naturally works. There's no way even the governor could screen all those candidates. So the governor would probably have to appoint people to screen for him or her. But the difference, the fundamental difference, and by the way, I'm going to fall down on the founders model, which was clear for separation of powers and checks and balances, and clear that you had to have judges who were independent of the political process in that they were not elected, and who were not directly chosen by the body whose laws they interpret with 0 check and balance by the executive branch. That is the founders model. And while it is not perfect, and no more perfect than we are, it is the very best way to ensure judicial independence. Now, you can disagree with the founders model. In the state of South Carolina, we've never really had the whole American Republic principle in place. You can disagree with the founders model, but I do not disagree with the founders model. And I would submit that it's the safest way to ensure that if a court, if a judge is corrupted by the system, that you need to have someone you can hold accountable for that. Governor appoints advice and consent of the Senate. So you do have that check and balance of your legislature and your governor, and you can hold them accountable, directly accountable. That is important in American government. That matters in government. And when this court threw these people off the ballot, whether their ruling was correct or not, there was a lot of serious blow-up and blowback for those rulings, and a lot of frustration, and there was nowhere to go for that. And that is a problem. It's a huge problem, and certainly I understand that you had a good experience and that you think the process works well. But I would submit that most people in here would disagree with you. Right?
Yep.
And that goes to another one that I can tell you that inside Columbia they don't like. Yes, Chris, I'm sorry.
I'd like to ask, an attorney is what? He is an officer of the court, correct?
Yes.
Wouldn't you say?
Yes, sir.
All right. The South Carolina Constitution states nobody that's an officer of the court can be an elected official because we have the 3 branches of government. Yet, every attorney I have talked to, they said, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, and it's right in the South Carolina Constitution. You're running for state rep, yet you're a member of the bar, which makes you a member of the judicial branch, but you won't resign from the bar. You know, so and this stuff about us telling us that, and I have to disagree with Ashley a little bit, is the fact that we should elect judges. If we're smart enough to elect the president, sorry, I still think we're smart enough to elect locally judges. Because these guys are appointed for life, and if we go with the route that Ashley says, I think in 5 years you got to come up, we should be able to vote them out of office if they make law and legislate from the bench. We have no control over that.
That's right.
And my question to you now is, will you run, are you running, and you're you're a member